Oh, it's time. Time to get radical.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to Radical Comment of the Week for November 17th to the 23rd, 2020. These are the very best comments from that time period. Starting out with the three honorable mentions, we got Maximum RD, Juliet India Mobile, and Raccoonnoop Hep Taylor. I'm going to try that one again. Raccoonunu Hep Taylor. Rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? The bronze medal comes to us from Wolfpack 1. First of all, sick and pretty sure it's illegal to eat another human being. Second, there are limits to freedom of speech. You can't yell fire in a crowded room. You can't go around telling children to drink bleach. While the number of freedom of speech can be a difficult line to discern at times, the first thing that has to be done is to at least pass the common sense test. Common sense told you that these comments and behavior are action of someone who is not trying to engage in open conversation and is instead looking for attention through outlandish comments. Understand that even things we deem as absurd and stupid points of view can ultimately provide some type of value, mainly in what not to do or think. Example, radical responses. This is your channel, Rick. I have no problem with and support you banning someone from your channel that you run. If you deem that person provides zero benefit or value to the discussion and is merely taking up space in this comment section with absurdity, don't be worried about booting them. I think I'm getting better. This is a long post, but at least it's not the novel I usually leave to get my points across. Well, nothing wrong with long post or short post, there's people that have, left very, very long multi-page comments, and there's nothing wrong with that, So it's, it's hard to... It's hard to have a one-size-fits-all policy when it comes to comments, isn't it? Every channel is going to look at it differently. Some people might be purist and say, you know what? Allow all the comments. Allow everything to go through. But we know that that's kind of silly because, well, if you allow all comments to go through, and I've left many, many different examples, then people will just spam the comment section. It'll just be graffiti everywhere. There are many people that might come by from time to time, a lot of troll comments, a lot of sock accounts that would love for me to just enable that. Hey, just everyone leave everything, right? So the thing is, I want this to be a community where people can come by and openly express how they feel on a variety of subjects. And if I don't agree with them, then I will reply and respond to the things I don't agree with. Or if I agree with them, I'll respond and reply, I don't think there's any perfect, 100% perfect way to really do it. It's really up to the channel owner, really. The silver medal comes to us from Ekvar. How does one balance the entitlement argument properly? On one hand, yes, he is a little self-entitled, expecting the world to move for him and his medium-sized channel. I can't remember. This was 3 months ago. I can't remember which video this was on, so my apologies. But on the other hand, you get complete jerks like Colin Moriarty saying that you are entitled to absolutely nothing when you pay for $60, coming on $70 now, games. It's definitely a subject that's very easy to spin and deceive people with. What is a good argument point that can ground people's definition of entitlement? I think for anti-e-begging, it's don't take from people worse off than you that grounds it. Otherwise, you could go on to the other extreme and start condemning homeless people for begging. Thinking of entitlement, I think it stems from a childlike mindset. That is, a child expects their mother to feed them and cries when they don't. This is definitely reasonable entitlement since it's for survival. And you can easily make the parallel right there. Trouble is in medium. YouTube creator just isn't as strong a bond as mother and son. Still, I'm having trouble tying this into good entitlement and bad entitlement. I mean, if we go to one extreme, maybe I'm not even entitled to work pay. Sure, I could leave, but I just essentially got used to it being there as a slave. Anyway, fascinating conversation around entitlement we could have here. Let's see here. Well, you point out the child getting, milk from their mother. It's reasonable entitlement. Let's say if you're choking on something, you're going to choke to death, and someone near you has a bottle of water. You would probably grab the bottle of water without thinking about it, and you would drink the water so you don't choke to death. Now, are you entitled to that bottle of water? Probably not. Definitely not. But the argument can be made, hey, you know what? You were going to die. You were going to die if you didn't get that bottle of water. So we look at the extremes, maybe to save a life. Is someone entitled to something to save their life? I get the arguments in the extremes. You bring up work. A lot of people feel they're entitled to more money at work. If I took a poll of everyone listening right now and I ask you all, do you think you should be making more at work? I would wager a guess most people would say, yeah, we deserve more at work. So we talk it around e-begging and everything, how, well, me personally, I don't think people should be entitled to donations online for their hobby videos, just as an example. I don't feel that, but other people might feel differently. I feel that you shouldn't be entitled to the money from your audience for uploading hobby videos just talking about things. Man, so many ways, so many directions we can go from this. How about I finish this off by talking about the definitions for entitlement? Okay. A sense of entitlement is a personality trait that is based on a person's belief that they deserve privileges or recognition for things that they did not earn. In simple terms, people with a sense of entitlement believe the world owes them something in exchange for nothing. That's one definition. Another, this is more common, is the definition of an entitlement is something to which you have a right. An example of an entitlement is a government program that provides benefits to a person such as Medicare. Another example would be, literally title. Title is in the word entitlement. You have a title to a car. You have a title to land. Another definition here, the land you own. So yeah, we could go in many different directions with this discussion around entitlement. And I might do a separate upload in the future, just doing a deep dive into this discussion. Next up with the gold medal, we got Logic Cost. Russell Westbrook, some people call him Westbrook, going to New York, the New York Knicks, is a win for all involved. And I hope it happens. Westbrook can once again be the star of the franchise. Houston gets off the contract, and James Dolan can count money while playing with his pud. Well, okay, Westbrook and Houston win, but fans of basketball lose because fuckhead Dolan isn't selling the team. Westbrook will retire winless, titleless. He only cares about his stats and his fashion sense. Harden to Brooklyn won't happen. Houston will force him to stay, if anything. He is going to have a rough year with Silas as a new head coach because he doesn't do that D'Antoni, let Harden shoot and play minimal defense stuff. Harden will still be flopping and shucking. He'll get his numbers, but this man will never win a ring because he lacks the humility and killer instinct necessary for that. He's a better version of Westbrook, but basketball is a team sport, and Harden has never struck me as a true leader. Capable of putting teams on his back in the postseason, he's not. Clay's injury, Klay Thompson, is a blow to basketball. Both him and KD were under Steve Kerr's system. Could it be that Kerr's system leads to injuries? I don't know. Running around and cutting constantly. I can see it happening. They also had multiple deep playoff runs. Not everyone is built like LeBron. It could be that the lack of rest from multiple championship runs ruined their bodies. Best of luck to Clay. He'll be sitting on fat checks for a while. Bogdanovic to Bucks will still probably happen, but tampering investigations will be taking place. Bucks might end up losing future draft picks. Still, Bucks lineup, if everything goes smooth, is Giannis, Lopez, Middleton, Bogdanovic, Holiday. Imagine a team where Bogdanovic is the second hardest word to say. Holiday, that starting five is actually scary as fuck. One MVP, one All-Star, one almost All-Star, and two excellent role pieces. I could see them winning it all if they can figure out how to diversify their offensive sets, which have been found to be hard countered in the playoffs twice. Assuming no more huge injuries, I predict that Lakers can get to the finals again, and they will meet the Bucks, who will finally figure out how to get it done in the playoffs. Miami isn't coming. They got hot in a bubble. Portland trading to get Covington surprised me, but it doesn't get them past the second round. Denver's a dark horse team, especially if Michael Porter Jr. continues improving. Maybe CF? Warriors will get bounced either first or second round. Boston isn't going anywhere fast, with Haywood opting out. Sorry, I dropped the phone. They'll get bounced in the first or second round. Clippers, first or second round. That team has huge chemistry issues. Lots of players don't want to run it back with George, or are leaving in free agency and don't want to return. I thought that this team would win in 2020, but they lacked a true leader. Jerry West's reputation as the best front office guy all time took a hit on this one. The George trade has crippled them to the point where they have to run it back. They don't have options. 76ers are a basket case. First, second round max. Embiid needs to stay healthy, but can he? Also, they continue to put faith in Simmons. How can you be a generational talent and all-star when you can't shoot? When you won't shoot? As an Australian, his work ethic and he will improve his will to improve leave me deeply disappointed. They got rid of Horford for literal peanuts. I don't understand what stage the process is at, but by my estimation, years of tanking have led to a bad culture, a motley collection of stars with no real path to getting better. I think they would have been in the 2019 finals if Kawhi didn't snatch their heart from their chest in Game 7. Ah, yeah, Kawhi with that lucky bounce. Well, you got some things you said here that panned out to be truthful, but two big things that did not, surprisingly. The 76ers are currently the best in the East. I don't know how that happened. Embiid is a possible MVP candidate. He really seems to be putting the work in. But right behind him, and probably that's going to ultimately be the best team in the East, is the Brooklyn Nets. You said Harden and Brooklyn wouldn't happen. But I thought to myself, Harden's probably going to do the same thing that Anthony Davis did in New Orleans. Throw a fit. And now we set a standard. This is disturbing because there are these things called contracts that these players sign in the NBA. But Harden kind of showed if you want out, you can get out. Just gain some weight, start playing not as well, start acting a fool. I would see him. He would be, not doing anything on defense. And he's not that great of a defensive player, but he would just be kind of standing there, slow to get back. There's, I guess you could hold some money back, or I don't know. There has to be something put in place that actually makes players, because if you're a star player and other teams want you, it's kind of like if you're in a relationship. Let's say if you're in a relationship and you're a very handsome man or a very beautiful woman, well, you have options. So you pretty much can act a fool because you're wanted elsewhere. A lot of teams were in the Harden sweepstakes. The 76ers were in the Harden sweepstakes. A lot of teams wanted James Harden, and he just acted a fool, and he got what he wanted.